Imagine waiting alone on a quiet platform. The wind howls, shadows move, and a cold chill runs down your spine, yet no one is there. Across Australia, some train stations carry more than just passengers. They carry the whispers of the past. From ghostly figures on the tracks to voices in empty tunnels, these stations are said to be haunted by those who never made it home. Dare to take a journey through the 10 scariest and most haunted train stations in Australia? Just be careful, some spirits are still waiting. If you love real ghost stories and haunted history, hit that subscribe button because the next chilling tale might be closer than you think. Story number 1: Redfern Station, Sydney. Redfern Station is one of the oldest and busiest train stations in Sydney, New South Wales. Located just a short distance from the city's central business district, it has been in operation since the mid-1800s. Over the years, the station has seen thousands of passengers come and go, but it has also gathered a reputation for being haunted. Many people believe that Redfern Station holds dark secrets from the past, and some claim to have seen and heard things that cannot be explained. One of the most common ghost stories linked to Redfern Station is about a young woman who is said to have died on the tracks many decades ago. Some say she was pushed, while others believe she jumped. Late at night, station workers and a few passengers have reported hearing a woman crying near the edge of the platform. When they look around, there's no one there. A few even claim to have seen a shadowy figure standing on the tracks, only to vanish seconds later. Another strange occurrence involves footsteps. Late at night, when the station is nearly empty, people say they hear the sound of footsteps behind them. When they turn around, no one is there. This has happened to several security guards who patrol the area after hours. They have shared stories of cold winds blowing through closed rooms, lights flickering for no reason, and the feeling of being watched. Some even refused to work the night shift again after their experiences. There is also a story that dates back to the early 1900s about a worker who died during construction. People believe his spirit still roams the tunnels underneath the station. Some train drivers have reported seeing a man in old-fashioned work clothes walking along the tracks late at night. When they stop the train to check, the man disappears without a trace. These stories have been passed down for years and are often shared among rail staff and ghost story fans. Despite these eerie tales, there is no official record of ghosts or paranormal activity at Redfern Station. Still, the stories continue to grow. Many people believe the station's long history and tragic events have left behind spiritual energy that cannot be seen but can sometimes be felt. Some say you don't need to believe in ghosts to feel something strange when standing alone on the platform at night. Whether or not the stories are true, Redfern Station remains a place full of mystery. It's a working train station by day and a place of whispered legends by night. People still pass through every day, unaware of the strange happenings others claim to have witnessed. But for those who believe in the supernatural, Redfern Station stands as one of Sydney's most haunted locations, a place where the past refuses to stay buried and the spirits of history may still be watching. Story number 2: Central Station, Sydney. Central Station in Sydney is the largest and busiest railway station in New South Wales. It first opened in 1906 and has been a major part of the city's transport system ever since. Every day, thousands of people pass through its platforms, tunnels, and halls. But behind all the movement and noise, there are old stories and chilling tales that give the station a reputation for being haunted. One of the reasons people believe Central Station is haunted is because it was built on top of a former cemetery. Before the station was constructed, the land was home to Devonshire Street Cemetery, which held thousands of graves. When the station was being built, many of the bodies were removed and reburied elsewhere. However, not all remains were properly moved. Some believe that the disturbed spirits of those left behind still wander the area, angry or confused about being forgotten. Many workers and passengers have shared strange experiences at the station over the years. Some have seen ghostly figures standing on empty platforms or walking through tunnels where no one should be. Others have heard strange whispers, footsteps, or even cries coming from dark corners of the station, especially late at night when very few people are around. There are also reports of sudden cold spots in areas where it shouldn't feel cold at all, even during warm seasons. One of the most commonly told stories involves a woman dressed in old-fashioned clothes. She is said to appear at platform 26 or 27, standing silently and looking around as if waiting for someone. When people try to approach her, she disappears. Some believe she could be the ghost of someone buried in the original cemetery or perhaps a person who died in an accident at the station many years ago. The tunnels beneath Central Station also add to its haunted reputation. These old underground paths are dark and quiet, and only a few staff members are allowed inside. Several workers have said they felt an unexplained presence while down there. Some even say they saw shapes moving in the darkness or heard voices calling their names. These reports make the tunnels one of the most feared areas for station employees during night shifts. Although there is no solid proof that ghosts exist at Central Station, the number of stories from different people over many years makes them hard to ignore. Whether it's the history of the land, the forgotten graves, or the many accidents that may have happened over time, something about Central Station gives people an uneasy feeling. Even those who don't believe in ghosts say they sometimes feel watched when walking through certain parts of the station alone. Today, Central Station continues to serve as a busy travel hub for Sydney. But beneath the daily rush, the past still lingers. For some, it's just an old station with a long history. For others, it's a place filled with memories, mystery, and maybe even the spirits of those who never left. Story number 3: Flinders Street Station, Melbourne. Flinders Street Station in Melbourne is one of the most famous and oldest train stations in Australia. It opened in 1854 and has been a central part of the city ever since. The building is known for its beautiful architecture, large clocks, and busy platforms. Every day, thousands of people travel through it. But behind the hustle and bustle, many believe the station holds dark secrets. Over the years, there have been many reports of ghost sightings and strange events that give the station a haunted reputation. One of the most well-known ghost stories about Flinders Street Station is the spirit of a man who appears at the end of Platform 10. People say he is dressed in old-fashioned clothing and sometimes waves at trains. He doesn't speak, and when people approach him, he simply vanishes. Some think he might be a former worker or passenger who died at the station many years ago. Others believe he could be someone who died by suicide or met with an accident on the platform. Many workers at the station have also reported strange happenings, especially during the night shifts. Lights turn on and off without reason. Footsteps are heard in empty hallways. Doors open and close by themselves. Some staff members say they feel a sudden chill or the feeling that someone is standing behind them even when no one is there. These events are hard to explain, and they've become part of the station's mysterious history. Another strange part of the station is the abandoned ballroom above the main platforms. It used to be a social place for events and dances, but has been closed for many years. Very few people are allowed up there now. Those who have entered the ballroom say it feels cold and strange even when it's warm outside. Some say they heard music playing or felt like they were being watched. A few even claim to have seen ghostly figures dancing or walking through the old room. There are also stories of a ghostly woman who appears in one of the station's stairwells. She wears a long dress and is seen walking up or down the stairs before disappearing. Some believe she was someone who lived nearby, or maybe even someone who lost a loved one at the station during wartime. Her presence is often described as sad but not harmful. While there is no scientific proof that ghosts exist at Flinders Street Station, the number of reports over the years makes people wonder. The station's long history, combined with accidents and emotional events that may have happened there, makes it a place where people believe the past still lingers. Even those who do not believe in ghosts often say the station has an unusual energy, especially when it's quiet and dark. Flinders Street Station remains a busy and important part of Melbourne today. But for some, it is more than just a travel stop. It is a place where the spirits of the past may still walk among the living, quietly reminding us of the stories time cannot erase. Story number 4: Lilydale Station, Melbourne. Lilydale Station is a train station located on the outer edge of Melbourne in the suburb of Lilydale. It is part of the Lilydale line and has been serving passengers since the late 1800s. The area around the station has a long history, and over the years, many people have shared stories of strange and ghostly happenings. Some locals believe that Lilydale Station is one of the most haunted train stations in Victoria. One of the most common ghost stories at Lilydale Station is about a young woman who is said to haunt the platform. According to local legend, she died in a tragic accident many years ago. Some say she jumped in front of a train, while others believe she may have slipped and fallen. Since then, several people have claimed to see her standing near the edge of the platform, dressed in old-fashioned clothing. When they try to get a closer look, she disappears into thin air. Train drivers have also reported unusual sightings along the tracks near Lilydale Station, especially during the early morning or late at night. A few say they've seen shadowy figures cross the tracks and then vanish. Others have reported hearing strange sounds like crying or whispers even though no one else was around. These events are rare, but they continue to be told among railway staff and locals, passed down like urban legends. There have also been reports from passengers and staff about flickering lights and sudden cold spots on the platform even during warm weather. Some people say they feel uneasy or like they are being watched when standing alone at the station at night. While there are no official records of hauntings, the number of stories and strange experiences make many believe there is something more happening at Lilydale than just regular train service. Nearby, there is also the old Lilydale quarry, which has its own dark history. Some believe that the energy from the quarry and the surrounding land may play a part in the strange things people experience at the station. It's thought that the combination of old land use, past tragedies, and the emotional energy of the area could contribute to the ghost stories. Over the years, ghost hunters and paranormal groups have visited Lilydale Station to try to find evidence of spirits. While no solid proof has been captured, many report strange feelings and unusual readings on their equipment. For those who believe in the paranormal, this only adds to the mystery and makes Lilydale Station a place of interest. Today, Lilydale Station continues to serve commuters daily. Trains come and go, people rush to work or home, and life moves on. But for some, especially those who have heard or seen something strange, Lilydale is more than just a train station. It's a place where the past and present seem to mix. A quiet reminder that some stories, and perhaps some spirits, still remain. Story number 5: Macquarie Field Station, Sydney. Macquarie Field Station is a small train station located in the southwestern suburbs of Sydney, New South Wales. It is part of the T8 Airport and South Line and mainly serves local residents. At first glance, it looks like any other quiet suburban station. But over the years, it has become known for something far more unsettling: reports of ghost sightings and strange, unexplained events that give the station a haunted reputation. The area around Macquarie Fields has a dark past. In the 1800s, it was home to farmland, old roads, and convict labor. Some believe that this history has left behind a spiritual mark. The station itself has seen a few tragic incidents over the years, including accidents involving people who were struck by trains. These events have only added to the mystery and fear surrounding the station. One of the most talked about stories is about a ghostly figure seen walking along the tracks at night. Several locals and train drivers have claimed to see a man dressed in dark clothes standing near the tracks, only for him to vanish when they get closer. Some say the figure appears lost or confused, while others believe he could be the spirit of someone who died near the station in the past. Another strange experience reported at Macquarie Field Station involves sounds that cannot be explained. People waiting on the platform late at night have said they heard footsteps behind them, but when they turned around, no one was there. Others have described hearing whispers or faint crying in the distance, especially when the station is quiet and nearly empty. These sounds seem to come from nowhere and leave people feeling uneasy. Train station staff and maintenance workers have also reported odd events during their shifts. Lights sometimes flicker without reason, doors open and close by themselves, and cold winds pass through closed areas. A few workers have even refused to work the night shift after having frightening experiences they could not explain. Even seasoned staff members admit that something about the station doesn't feel right after dark. In 2005, Macquarie Fields made national news due to a series of violent riots in the area. While these events were not connected to the paranormal, they added to the station's negative image. For many residents, the station became a place they preferred to avoid after dark, not just because of safety concerns, but also because of the eerie stories passed around the community. Although there is no official proof that Macquarie Field Station is haunted, the number of stories shared by different people over the years makes it hard to ignore. The mix of local history, real-life tragedy, and repeated reports of ghostly activity has given the station a lasting reputation as one of Sydney's more unsettling locations. Today, Macquarie Field Station still serves hundreds of commuters every day. But for some, especially those who've experienced the strange happenings, it remains a place where the past feels close and where something invisible might still be watching from the shadows. Story number 6: Petersham Station, Sydney. Petersham Station is a small but historic train station located in the inner west of Sydney, New South Wales. It was opened in 1857 and is one of the oldest stations still in use in the city. The station features old-style buildings, a footbridge and platforms that have seen thousands of passengers over more than 160 years. While it may look quiet and peaceful, Petersham Station has gained a strange reputation over time due to stories of ghost sightings and unusual activity. One of the most common stories linked to Petersham Station is about a man who appears late at night near the tracks. People describe him as wearing an old suit and hat, standing silently before suddenly vanishing. Some say he might have been a passenger from the early 1900s who died in an accident near the station. Others believe he could be a worker from the station's early days whose spirit never left. The sightings are usually brief and happen when the station is quiet, especially after dark. There are also reports of strange sounds that have no clear source. Late-night commuters and workers have heard footsteps on the footbridge when no one is there. Others say they hear a voice calling their name or whispering nearby. These sounds are often described as soft and distant but happen in moments when the area is completely empty. Even experienced train drivers have reported seeing shadows move across the platform or along the tracks just before their train arrives. Inside the station building, which still has some of its original structure, staff have noticed lights flickering, doors creaking open without wind, and objects moving slightly as if touched by invisible hands. One staff member once shared that while working alone, they felt a sudden cold breeze pass by, followed by the feeling that someone was standing behind them. When they turned around, no one was there. The experience left them shaken and unsure of what they had felt. Some locals believe the station's long history could be the reason for these events. With so many people passing through over more than a century, including during times of war and hardship, it's possible that strong emotions or tragic moments have left a spiritual mark. While no major disaster is officially linked to Petersham Station, the area has seen its share of accidents and deaths, especially in the early days when safety rules were not as strong as they are now. Paranormal enthusiasts have shown interest in Petersham Station, especially because of its age and the number of unexplained stories. Though no solid evidence of ghosts has ever been recorded, the repeated reports and similar descriptions keep the stories alive in the local community. Today, Petersham Station continues to operate as part of Sydney's busy train network. Most people pass through without noticing anything unusual. But for those who know the stories or have experienced something strange themselves, the station holds a quiet mystery. It stands as a reminder that sometimes, even the most ordinary places can have an eerie side, where the past might still linger in the shadows. Story number 7: Newcastle Station, NSW. Newcastle Station, once the main train station in Newcastle, New South Wales, is known not only for its long history, but also for the eerie stories connected to it. The station first opened in the 1850s and served as a central transport hub for over 150 years before it was closed to rail traffic in 2014. The building still stands today and is used for other purposes, but many people believe that some parts of the station are haunted by spirits from the past. The station was always busy during its early years, with passengers traveling in and out of Newcastle for work, war, and family. Over time, several accidents and deaths were reported in and around the station. Some involved workers injured during the construction or maintenance of the tracks. Others involved passengers who fell from platforms or were struck by trains. These tragic events left behind stories and whispers that have been passed down for generations. One of the most well-known ghost stories about Newcastle Station involves the spirit of a railway worker who is believed to haunt the old platform area. Witnesses have described seeing a man in old-fashioned work clothes standing near the tracks late at night. He is usually silent and disappears when people try to get closer. Some say he looks confused, as if he doesn't know that time has moved on. Others believe he may be trying to finish a job he never completed in life. There have also been reports of strange sounds echoing through the station's empty halls, especially at night. Some people say they hear footsteps walking along the platform even when no one is around. Others have heard distant voices or the sound of a train arriving, even though no train has run through the station since it was closed. Security guards and workers who stayed in the building after the closure shared stories of lights turning on by themselves, doors creaking open, and cold drafts moving through closed rooms. Some visitors who toured the site after it was closed to trains described feeling uneasy, especially near the old waiting rooms and tunnels. A few claim to feel sudden drops in temperature or the sensation of being watched. Others said they saw quick flashes of movement out of the corner of their eye only to find no one there. These stories add to the mystery of Newcastle Station and have made it a popular place for ghost hunters and fans of the paranormal. Although Newcastle Station is no longer used for train travel, the building remains an important part of the city's history. Its age, combined with the many events that happened there, both happy and tragic, make it a place filled with emotion and memory. Whether or not the ghost stories are true, the station has a certain atmosphere that many people describe as heavy or strange. For most, it is just an old train station with a strong connection to Newcastle's past. But for those who believe it is a place where history never fully let go and where the echoes of the past may still move through the quiet, empty platforms. Story number 8. Perth Station, Perth. Perth Station is the main train station in the city of Perth, Western Australia. It has been in operation since the late 1800s and is one of the oldest and busiest stations in the state. Over the years, it has gone through many changes and upgrades, but parts of the original structure still remain. With such a long and active history, it's not surprising that some people believe the station might be haunted. Many of the ghost stories connected to Perth Station come from night shift workers, security guards, and late-night passengers. Some have reported seeing strange shadows moving through the station, especially around the older parts of the building. These shadows appear quickly and then vanish, often when no one else is nearby. A few people have even said they saw the shape of a person standing at the end of a platform or walking into a wall. One of the most common ghost stories is about a woman in white. Several people over the years have claimed to see her standing on a platform, looking as if she is waiting for someone. She never speaks and always disappears when approached. No one knows who she is, but some believe she might have been someone who lost her life near the station long ago, possibly while waiting for a loved one who never came home. There are also reports of strange noises during the night. Workers have heard footsteps echoing through empty platforms and hallways, even when no one else is there. Others have heard whispers, soft crying, or the sound of a train arriving, only to look and see nothing there. These unexplained sounds have made some staff members nervous about working alone after dark. The older tunnels and rooms beneath the station are said to be the most haunted areas. These parts are not open to the public and are mostly used for maintenance. Workers who have entered them often report feeling sudden cold spots or a strong sense of being watched. Some even say they have had tools moved or heard voices even though no one else was present. Although no official records confirm any specific deaths or tragic events inside Perth Station, the area around it has seen accidents and violent incidents over the years. Some believe the emotional energy from these events has stayed behind and created a kind of spiritual presence in the station. Paranormal investigators who have visited the area have said their equipment picked up unusual readings, adding to the belief that something is there. Today, Perth Station continues to serve thousands of passengers every day. It's a busy, modern station filled with noise, lights, and movement. But for those who know the stories or have felt something strange while waiting for a train, it remains a place of mystery. Whether it's the long history, the quiet late-night hours, or something truly paranormal, Perth Station holds a reputation as one of the city's most quietly haunted locations. Story number 9. Belair Station, Adelaide. Belair Station is a small train station located in the Adelaide Hills of South Australia. It is part of the Belair railway line and has been in use since the late 1800s. Surrounded by nature and old buildings, the station has a quiet and peaceful feel during the day. But when the sun goes down and the last trains leave, many people say the atmosphere changes completely. Over time, locals and visitors have shared ghost stories and strange experiences that have given Belair Station a haunted reputation. One of the main reasons people believe the station is haunted is its age and isolation. The station sits close to Belair National Park, and at night, the area becomes very dark and silent. This quiet setting adds to the creepy feeling many people describe. Some have reported seeing shadowy figures walking near the platform or standing by the trees, only to vanish when approached. Others have heard footsteps when no one else was around or felt like someone was watching them from the darkness. A commonly shared story involves a ghostly woman who is seen sitting on a bench at the station. Witnesses say she appears to be waiting for a train, dressed in old-fashioned clothes. Some people believe she may have lost someone she loved in a train accident many years ago and still waits for them to return. The woman never speaks and disappears suddenly, leaving behind an eerie silence. Train drivers and station workers have also experienced strange events. A few have said they saw lights flicker on and off for no reason or heard doors opening and closing even when the wind was still. One worker reported hearing a child's laughter near the tracks in the middle of the night, but there was no one there. These stories are not told for fun, they come from people who were genuinely frightened and confused by what they experienced. There are also old tunnels and maintenance sheds near the station that are no longer used. These areas are often talked about in ghost stories. People who have explored them say they feel a sudden drop in temperature or hear whispers and breathing sounds. Some have felt touches on their shoulder only to turn around and see no one there. Even paranormal investigators have visited Belair station to try and capture evidence of ghosts. While no solid proof has been found, the strange readings and personal experiences keep the interest alive. Though there are no public records of major disasters at Belair station, the combination of its age, remote location, and reported experiences continue to feed its spooky reputation. People who live nearby often say they avoid walking past the station at night, just in case the stories are true. Today, Belair station still serves commuters and travelers, especially those going to and from Adelaide. During the day, it is just another quiet train stop in the hills. But when darkness falls, it becomes a place of mystery where the past might not be fully gone and where some say the spirits still remain. Story number 10. Picton Station, NSW. Picton Station is a small and historic train station located in the town of Picton, New South Wales. It first opened in 1863 and is one of the oldest railway stations in the state. The station is part of the Southern Highlands Line and still operates today, serving locals and travelers. However, many people believe that Picton Station is one of the most haunted train stations in Australia. Over the years, it has gained a reputation for ghost sightings and unexplained activity, especially in and around the nearby railway tunnel. One of the most famous ghost stories linked to Picton Station involves the Red Bank Tunnel, which is just a short walk from the station. The tunnel was once part of the main rail line and was used for both passengers and goods trains. It is now closed to trains but remains open to walkers and visitors. Many people who have entered the tunnel say they felt a sudden chill, even on warm days. Some have reported hearing footsteps, whispers, or voices calling out, even when they were alone. A well-known legend tells of a young woman named Emily Ballard, who was hit by a train in the tunnel many years ago. Some say she was walking through the tunnel at night and didn't hear the train coming. Since then, people claim to have seen her ghost inside the tunnel. She is often described as a white figure, sometimes glowing faintly in the darkness. Those who believe in the story say she is still looking for peace and sometimes appears to warn others to stay safe. At the station itself, there have also been strange reports. Staff and visitors have said they felt like someone was watching them even when they were alone. Others have seen shadows move quickly across the platform or heard the sound of a train that never arrived. Lights sometimes flicker for no reason, and people have felt sudden drops in temperature in certain parts of the station. Picton has become a popular place for ghost tours and paranormal investigators. Many groups visit the tunnel and the station at night, hoping to capture photos, voices, or any signs of spiritual activity. While no one has proven that ghosts exist there, the number of similar stories over many years makes it a place of deep interest and mystery. The town of Picton itself has a long history and many of its buildings are old and full of stories. With such a rich past, it's not surprising that some people believe the spirits of those who lived or died there might still linger. The combination of history, tragedy, and reported experiences gives Picton Station and its tunnel a chilling reputation. Today, Picton Station continues to serve passengers as a quiet, country stop. But for those who know the stories, it is more than just a place to catch a train. It is a site filled with memories, some peaceful, some sad, and some that may never rest. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, Picton Station remains a place where the past still feels very close.